What is going on out there, peeps? Woo, howdy. Yeah, the last, the last 24 hours have been very interesting in Iraq. For those you don't know, their weekend starts on our Friday. That's their Saturday. And then our Saturday is their Sunday. So come Sunday for us, which is their Monday, of course, we're still hearing news about the Iraqi dinar exchange rate. Again, I'm trying to keep you grounded. Pull back, pull back. We know they're talking about the rate. We know they're talking about the exchange rate. How they even came out so far as to say they need to decrease the rate, the exchange rate, all right? So I have people going, oh, no, that's not what it means. It means lower dollar amounts. I go, no, when they say reduce the value of the dinar is not the same as decreasing the rate. Decreasing the rate is something different altogether. Decreasing the rate helps those individuals who hold on to dinars, okay? Decreasing the value of the dinars would increase the rate. That means you get more dinars for every American dollar. That's not what they're saying. They're saying decrease the rate. Decrease the number of dinars you get for every US dollar. Now, I don't want people to get overly excited or overly gloomy when we get news, because none of it matters. What I mean by that is this. Until they do anything with their rate change, we have no idea of what's really going to happen. Do you see what I'm saying? So hang tight, pull back. Don't get overly hyped. I don't want people out there running around selling cars, putting in second mortgages on your house, hawking at everything just to buy more dinars, thinking you're going to get instantly a billionaire. We don't know what the rate changes are going to be. And even if they decrease the rate, we don't know about how much. What happens if they only do a small portion? Sure, it's still a gain to us, but we don't know yet. And that's why I want people to stay grounded. All of this is good news. We like it, but stay grounded, okay? Let's get into the news. All right. If you have not considered it, you probably should. And that is buying into precious metals. If you do, consider our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. Their link is in my description. If you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half ounce of silver. If you already got your free half ounce, you can't get any more. We have Pimpy's Investment Chat. It's the same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we do talk about investment opportunities, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. All right? No politics here. Bring the politics over to here, which is the hidden things in front of your eyes. Over here, you can talk about QAnon politics, current events, NESARA, GESARA, 9/11, false flag events, the whole 9 yards. Just be respectful of one another. If you don't have Facebook, which I'm finding out a lot of you don't, I don't blame you. Come join me on Twitter. The link is in the description. You can join me on Twitter. All right, so what's going on over in Iraq? As usual, there's a lot of good news, a lot of positive steps being taken forward. Okay? Erbil opens its doors to American investors. This is good. This is in the Kurdistan region. So whatever's happening over there, we know they got some kind of proposal between Nashville and Erbil to do some businesses over there. It says, we are happy with this proposal, and currently we are preparing to develop and strengthen friendly relations and sign this agreement. That's with Nashville. But they're also opening their doors to other American companies. This is what we want to see. We want to see Iraq start bringing in outside investors. Outside investors create companies there. These companies hire Iraqi people. The Iraqi people get off of getting any kind of financial aid from the government and start earning money and then paying taxes into the government, which is another source of income for the government, so that they don't have to rely 95, 98% of their budget on the oil revenues. We want outside investors in Iraq. This is good. Okay? I like to see these types of articles. Iraq agrees to extend the work of the United Nations DP mission until 2023. The Secretary General of Council of Ministers, during his meeting with the German ambassador in Baghdad, praised the efforts of German government and the people in their programs operating in support of Iraq, of the stability of the liberated areas, and standing side by side with the government and people of Iraq in many projects and programs that it supervises. So again, I think it's interesting because what they're doing is extending out their mission until 2023. The reason why I think that's interesting is because we understand, based on articles that we read, that Iraq is not just working on the budget for 2021, but they're also working on the budgets for 22 and 23. It might mean nothing, but I do think it's very interesting, and it did catch my attention. So basically what they want to do, again, is they're just doing what they can to stabilize everything that's going on in Iraq. They're being supported by a lot of outside entities around the world to make sure that Iraq is stable and is prosperous for its people, but also the outside investors. Let's be honest. I think a lot of countries see the potential in Iraq and the ability to get in and get aboard and make a lot of money in Iraq. So that's what a lot of this is about. Anyways, it goes on to say that the German ambassador in Baghdad clarified that the German government's intentions to continue and intensify efforts and work in the stability support program and work together with the United Nations Development Program in Iraq to establish many projects. In other words, again, things they need to work on in the liberated areas. So when they say project, that's like rebuilding businesses, construction, doing what they can. That's what they're talking about. Okay, so it's nice to see that indeed other nations, of course, see what most of us see, an opportunity in Iraq to help them build back up from the ground up, to be quite honest with you. Mazar Souley, the government concluded nearly 19,000 contracting contracts worth $100 billion. This is big. When they say building these contracts, they're talking about businesses, projects. That's what they're talking about. This is good. Souley said in an article published by the News that launching projects in Iraq has a huge number of commitments, and the advance payment policy is used as one of the encouraging phenomena for contracting sectors, which amounts to 10% of the total contracts. That the number of projects increased by 6,000 projects and nearly 19,000 enterprises, a value of nearly $100 billion. These are people who want to come into Iraq and help rebuild it. This is big. 19,000 contracts is big. These are agreements to come in and help rebuild Iraq. So when I was talking to you about short-term, long-term investments, being invested into the currency, but not just that, also I'm invested in the stock market. So I like to see this. I want to see more companies come in there. I want to see more things happening in Iraq. I want to see stability. I want to see prosperity. One, and most importantly, is for the people of Iraq. There's no reason for them to be living the way they are. They really do have a great nation. But two, if I'm being honest, I'm invested in Iraq. I would love to see some of the positive happen there. Anyways, he noted that the state pay risk premiums are 10% for the delay in approving annual investment projects, which takes the form of advance provided to contracts. He explained that the annual material achievement of the government projects range from 8 to 28% in the best case, explaining that the decision to stop incomplete projects and pay with terms cost the country to pay bonds or commit to pay them in amounts of about $5 trillion. So we know a lot of projects were delayed when the people start uprising. A lot of outside investors left. They didn't want to be there during the protests. They felt like the place had become unstable. So based on the bonds and the agreements that the Iraq government has with these outside investors, that when this type of stuff happens, they carry the burden of the cost. So that's good news. 19,000 projects, really good. Baghdad and Erbil coordinating the stabilization of the ports with procedures. We know a lot about this. This article is talking about it. The Iraq government had not, or I should say, the Baghdad had not been over to the ports in 29 years. So the fact that Al-Qademi went there to visit to talk about what they need to do to coordinate supervision of the ports, to share the revenues and the dues, was a big deal. So they're still coordinating it more and more. It said the Prime Minister, which is Al-Qademi, was briefed on the electronic system and laboratories in the Kurdish region, and he asked the authorities to communicate with the region in order to unify the agricultural calendar and customs tariffs so that the procedures and stabilization for all border outlets in Iraq. And he also instructed Al-Qademi to display the wages that are collected at the federal outlets in order to reduce them according to the law and regulations. So again, Erbil, and Baghdad are working out their differences. This is good, but they should have had it done by now. This has been going on for quite some time. Okay, so this, we already know about this part. So basically what it comes down to in today's news is simply this. Look, Erbil and Baghdad continue to iron out their differences, which is good. Iraq is extending the United Nations Development Project, which is good. Iraq has now signed into contracts, about 19,000 contracts in all, for outside investors and projects to be worked on within Iraq. Again, this is great. This is the type of stuff we want to see. It's looking really good. So the less people on government aid, the more people working, the more money paid in taxes, the stronger the economy, the stronger the currency. You see what I'm saying? Again, we know that there's a lot of talk about the currency. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just happy that they're at least talking about it. So just be grounded, pull back a little bit, and let's wait to find out what they're going to tell us, all right? So that's it for now. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.